Man, I'm looking at myself in this mic or in this webcam. I'm looking extra shiny. I ain't been around for about. I've been out the game for nearly 2 weeks. I'm looking extra shiny. What up, Sage?
I didn't think he was gonna come back.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Call my mama and my damn it, yeah. Come back on the YouTube now. That's my mumble rap.
Oh man,
Rapper. I could. Yo, I could be. Well, I would want you to call me Ben Trapson. It's an ish in the trap. So call me Ben Trapson from now on. Everybody follow me on Twitter, Ben_Trapson, because I'll be running shit in the trap, or running ish in the trap. And that's my first. Matter of fact, that's the name of my first song. We running ish in the trap. Ha! That's how I roll. That's exactly how I'm gonna roll. The best mumble rapper of all time. Run the podcast. Run the shit. Run the hash. That's how you run it. How you doing, man? Shout outs to Michael Trapson. If y'all don't know who, I don't know if he's from San Antonio, but if y'all don't know who Michael Trapson is, shout out to Michael Trapson. Y'all go look him up. So what's good?
Man, today I guess because we're finally live together. 2 weeks. That's been a long time, man. But a lot has happened in 2 weeks. First and foremost, and probably the most important thing, Spurs tanked 2 games by double digits.
Yeah, they blew that 20. I saw something online that said that if Kawhi is out and they beat the Rockets by 39 points, and Kawhi is out and the Spurs lose by, what was it, like 30? Does that mean the Warriors would have beat the Rockets by 69 points? Knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge.
That's what that is.
Man, I don't know about all that. So, but for my Cavaliers to although it would have been bittersweet to take out the Spurs because God, it's just fun. But you know what? Coffee is best. Tastes better when it's paid for. So I'll tell you that, man. But jokes aside, we got a little bit of an upgrade, and we've finally, we've been accepted to the Google Play community. So now we can now be heard on Google Play. So if that is your love of choice, go search It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Share, like, subscribe, do all that nice stuff.
Yeah, check us out. So I have been horribly out of the loop for 2 weeks. I essentially took, I'm not going to lie, I took 2 weeks off of wrestling. Week one was because I didn't want to. I didn't have a choice. I guess I could have DVR'd it, but I forgot, and I was out of town for a week. And then this week I thought, you know what? I'm gonna miss wrestling this week, and I'm gonna let Sage the Mark fill me in on the previous 2 weeks in wrestling, so he'll recap it in a nutshell. So, how did last week's podcast go?
You bastard! So since that, okay, I had to record the podcast into two things. If you watched it live, you actually got to see the meltdown of Sage the Mark, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. We heard from the community that you guys want to interact with us live on air. So I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. I download, a popular application that was supposed to help me being able to get everything all squared away, but it didn't work out the way that I needed it to. On paper, it seemed sound, but the configurations were just completely shot. I ended up probably wasting 2.5, 3 hours trying to get things configured. So once I got it all done, it was about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern time. And I was like, fuck it. Podcast.
Yeah, I had
7
to
minutes
put you on the
in.
spot.
We did 7 minutes in, man. I was just like, no, I can't do this, man. I cut the feed. I deleted it. Home. The hour drive. I went home and the podcast. Had it all ready up, ready to go. Did my publishing for it, and then the worst of the worst happened. Everything sounded distorted.
Technical difficulties.
It was not your boys' time, though.
I had to throw you under the bus big time there because I was, for those of y'all listening, I had to go out of town last week. Had some stuff I had to do, some business that I had to take care of. But I thought, you know what? I think I'm gonna try and tune in and see what's going on, see what's going good. And I was watching the Spurs game. I thought, all right, let me tune in, see what's going down. And yeah, you know what I saw? That was you becoming broken. Age the mark.
I felt like Brother Nero.
Ninja Nero.
Broken has his stuff together. Brother Nero's just like all over the place, man. I was definitely Brother Nero.
Yeah. So fill me in, because like I literally stayed off of social media, dirt sheets. I stayed off of everything for 2 weeks because I wanted to see. I just thought, you know what, let me come in hot on the podcast. So all I know from the past 2 weeks is Braun Strowman is apparently out for 2 months, but I don't know what happened or I literally. So recap Raw and SmackDown for me last week. What did I miss?
Oh man, nothing. You didn't miss. It was the last leg of the European tour. You could just tell they were grouping. Everything was like a multi-man match. Complete and utter garbage. That says I'm fired, by the way.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
So yes, nothing. There was nothing to advance any of the storylines. It is literally utter garbage. I felt bad for our UK, like our UK friends, man, because they got a shit show, bruh. Like literally a shit show.
So both shows?
Both. The only silver lining out of those entire 2 shows is Alexa Bliss files.
Really?
Actually cut a really good promo, the 12-day promo. So if you haven't got a chance to listen to that. So I would definitely recommend you going out and listening to that. But it was a damn real promo, man.
Dang. Okay, so I got to check out that pro. How were the Fashion Police? Did they do any skits or sketches or anything like that these past 2 weeks?
Yeah, so they've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. So they did one last week. It was freaking hilarious. And this week on SmackDown, they did another one as well. And again, it was probably the highlight of the entire show, which it's terrible for me to say that for SmackDown, man. I don't know what they're doing with my show.
Yeah. All right. So SmackDown, are you going to say it sucked these past 2 weeks? Because isn't Kevin Owens is fighting AJ Styles on an upcoming pay-per-view? That's like a dream match.
I mean, it's supposed to be. But for this match and all the other ones, I'm not too optimistic about it. I will say, I am optimistic about the Jinder Mahal match. That I'm not really looking for. Oh, and of course the Shinsuke Nakamura, which will
what happened?
Steal the show, man.
Did Jinder do anything to get over in these past 2 weeks? I mean, he was kind of over because he's got the anti-America thing going, but what did he do in these past 2 weeks? And are they officially the Bollywood Boys or the Singh brothers?
Officially, and he's opened and closed the shows both times. To be honest with you,
how were his promos?
with match, I love his promos. I mean, and I might just be biased, but I absolutely love his promos, man. He's got true heel heat, and it's great. I mean, he's not Rusev, he's not on that level, but thing.
Wait, so you're telling me Rusev is a better promo cutter than Jinder?
Rusev's a better heel and a better wrestler than Jinder.
Rusev without Lana.
Lana. With or without Lana?
I feel like Lana brings more heat because she's so hot and everyone knows it. But
heel kind of heat. Kind of like Cesaro, right? Like with Cesaro, it's you're cheering for Cesaro or for Cesaro, but you're not cheering for Sheamus.
So, okay, would we both agree that at this point, Mahal has a way better look of, the foreign anti-American heel? Mahal has a better look than Rusev at this point, right?
Oh, hands down. But, I mean, his wrestling's not like Rusev. Rusev's got him beat 10 ways to Sunday.
Oh, yeah. See, and that's the thing is, I don't know. Just in what I've seen at Jinder, he's definitely got the look. Dude, shredded, tall. And we've talked about hard body before, but he's getting good on the mic. I just feel like if you do the anti-American thing, it's hard. It's easy to get heat. Like, it's easy to be a heel if you are anti-America because people want to chant USA, USA, USA and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the cheapest heat you can get.
Oh yeah. What up, Stephen Thatcher? We appreciate you tuning in, by the way. You're day one fan. I don't know. Yeah. So I assume, was Rusev on SmackDown these past 2 weeks?
So I ended up having to watch the Hulu version of SmackDown this week. I believe there was like a vignette or something like that. I don't think he actually like truly came out kind of thing.
Was it one of those like remember a couple weeks ago he did it from his cell phone? He just uploaded a cell phone video.
Something to that nature. I again this week I don't know. I just don't know like in what capacity he was mentioned. Cut from Hulu.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, SmackDown had picture-in-picture. So did you not get any of that? Is there any?
I didn't see any of that.
Well, what do people on social media think? Again, I completely took off. I took 2 weeks off just because I had a really hectic schedule personal life-wise, and then I decided to bring it in hot. I decided to let the people know the Goose is loose. You see how I played that into the title? And I just okay, back to my question. I'm mumble rapping, my bad.
You're good, man. The picture-in-picture didn't happen this week. I think that's supposed to be happening in the upcoming weeks on SmackDown. So when that happening, I think that's exactly what it needed or needs. We've been saying it for months now. Picture-in-picture should be a constant thing. SmackDown. I don't know about Raw, but definitely. At least in the matches that really matter.
Let me ask you something about picture-in-picture. It potentially could work in wrestling because there's the show is going on, and they're not going to end a match, but the show is going on during commercial breaks. Correct? That's why it could work in wrestling. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So what if they did picture-in-picture for basketball, the NBA playoffs? But what if picture-in-picture was during halftime? So that's when you zoom out in the picture-in-picture is halftime of the NBA game. Then you just throw ads out there for 25 straight minutes or however long halftime is, even though it says when you go to a game it's 12 minutes, but we both know it's not 12 minutes. So it ends up being 15, 20 minutes. What if they just run ads during that entire 15, 20-minute spot, and then during the game in basketball, they get rid of all these BS stops that they have. Like foul, boom, commercial break. Get rid of TV commercial breaks. Or imagine football. Football as it is. I love football. You love football. We actually did our beta test for this podcast during last year's Browns-Dolphins game, which was a terrible game. Dolphins turned it up in the second half of the season. Browns, they got a Texas A&M defensive monster on their team this year that they drafted. But what if they did picture-in-picture to speed up football?
I mean,
it's got to be a possibility, right?
They've done it for other sports. Like, this isn't a new concept. The thing is that they've toyed with it, and for whatever reason, they haven't gone full throttle with it. Basketball, it's happened in Olympics, it's happened in football, it's happened in NASCAR, and I think NASCAR might be the only one that's done like constantly.
Good call. NASCAR is a great example because the action keeps going. NASCAR is a fantastic example.
So I think that we are at the point. We're at the point in society in terms of consumption that, like, you can get away with stuff like this, or you could be even creative, man. Like, check this out. You're watching your TV, and
you hear that?
Yeah, is that your cat, bro?
It might be. You saw me pull. Oh, dumbass cat.
You go handle that cat, bro.
Yeah, you messing up my podcast. You ain't no special guest. You ain't got Twitter. Sorry about that.
Fine,
okay, so go ahead. Sorry about that. Stupid cat. I can't stand this cat.
I think that we're at a point.
We have 600 listeners. Please come take this cat.
You're crazy, man. So we're at a point where our society is a consume-all society. We need to take advantage of that. I think the best way to do it is either doing the picture-in-picture. I should say more that we are a and society. Everything as it happens with no fillers and things of that nature, right? What I mean by that is, like, yeah, like Hulu, for instance, is probably one of the greatest examples where people were getting upset because there were commercials in the middle of it. So you were paying a subscription, you were still getting commercials. So what did they do? You know, they bumped you up $2 more, no commercials in there. Or for the ones that require commercials, they put it one at the beginning and one at the end. You only really needed to watch one of them. The same thing with wrestling, man. Heck, if you wanted to make it even interactive, like, beam that commercial to our phones, but let us be in the action. I don't know, man. I just gave y'all a free idea.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. But you're right. Like, this is an ad-driven world, completely ad-driven world. There's nothing you can do about it. It's complete ad-driven. And it's all run by the mighty dollar. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, from the sounds of it, I really didn't miss anything at all in these past 2 weeks. Other than, I don't know what Raw's doing, but other than pay-per-view hype.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you didn't miss anything, man. It's last week was literally didn't advance any storylines. I think people were hurt, and in order to conserve people from further hurt, they were putting them in multi-man matches and things of that nature. This week, you didn't really miss much, man. I think there was more going on in UFC than was going on in WWE this week, and that's for damn sure, man.
Yeah, well, we had a good card last week. I mean, Stipe, man, he ran over JDS. So, it's funny you mentioned UFC. So let me ask you something. Booker T has offered to train Anthony Rumble Johnson. This is the question I wanted to ask you this week. So he wants to train him to be ready for WrestleMania 34.
Rumble's the one who retired, right?
Oh yeah, he lost to Daniel Cormier, got choked out, but he's a knockout artist. I mean, the dude is still top 3 200 light heavyweights in the world, 200, 205. I mean, would he fit?
But he's officially retired, right?
He is. He's opened up a cannabis business, medical cannabis business. So, what could you see Anthony Johnson in the WWE, or is he not a big enough mainstream star for them to bring him in, like a Ronda Rousey? I mean, what do you think?
I guess he would be like the Karl Malone of WCW.
Yeah, that worked.
Enough people who know him, right? Be a draw, but he's no Jordan, or in this case, in his area, he's no Brock Lesnar. So
yeah,
if he can cut I think that 90% of it is being able to cut a compelling promo. So if he's able to cut a compelling promo, it might just. I think that honestly, I think McGregor would probably be better than Rumble Johnson, but.
yeah. What do you think Rumble Johnson could? That the WWE, they'll definitely offer him something. But how would you book Anthony Rumble Johnson? He's not the most charismatic guy in the UFC. He didn't talk a bunch of trash. He lets his fist do the talking. But how would you fantasy book Rumble Johnson going into WrestleMania 34? Go.
It's gotta go against Rusev, man.
What the hell? Why Rusev? He's got to go against X-Pac. If anybody, they need to bring back X-Pac.
Make some noise.
X-Pac. Why Rusev?
Well, first off, Anthony's going to come in as a face. He's not going to come in as a heel. And that's just because of the way that he's portrayed himself in the UFC. Doesn't have that temperament to be right off the bat. So with that being said, you want to put him against someone who can carry him in the match. You want to put him against someone who's experienced and someone who's not afraid to take an L for the greater good. And the only two people in the company that can actually do that, Goose, is Dolph Ziggler and Rusev.
I was just gonna say Dolph Ziggler. Whoever could make somebody look like $1 million. I would bring Anthony Johnson in, and I would feed him to. Or I would let him fight Dolph Ziggler, because Ziggler could sell, but make the match look good. I don't know who I'd have him fight, because he's got to have enough of a. Because he could whoop some ass, but he's got to have a little bit of legitimacy. He's got to fight somebody who has legitimacy to him, to where you think that that person might win, so it's not just a squash match. Maybe a maybe a Jinder Mahal, because whenever Anthony Johnson's going to beat up Jinder Mahal, the Bollywood boys or the Singh brothers step in. You know what I mean? So at least he's got some cronies doing his dirty work. It's like J&J Security back in the day, or back
That's right,
2 years ago. So it's I won't mind. Personally, I'd love to see him. I hope it works out. I don't think it will, but it'd be nice to see him. Nice to see him in the WWE. So outside of Conor McGregor, because that will never happen. But then again, Floyd Mayweather made a WrestleMania appearance. Who would you like to see from the UFC jump ship? And I'm saying that full-heartedly. They signed a 3-year contract.
Both.
Active now.
Okay. Honestly, I would like to see Cat Zingano.
Cat Zingano?
Yeah. Zingano. Yes. Cat Zingano.
Woman?
The guys, like, who else is there? I mean, like, Frankie Edgar's on his way out. The easy one, but we're probably not going to see him. Bisping likes to dodge people. GSP doesn't know whether or not he wants to fight or not. You know what? What about Dana White? I would love to see Dana White get his ass beat.
Dana White in the ring would be. You know what? Now that I think about it, of all people, Dana White would be pretty awesome, because he could. I wouldn't mind seeing them probably go up against Triple H. Vince McMahon's just a bit too old at this point. But you know what? I'd love to see him, and Dana White could bring like 4 or 5 UFC cronies with him, like a Donald Cerrone to. And you know what they would do? I would love to see it. He could have a match, maybe even with Shane McMahon. If Vince McMahon was in his 50s, I'd say Vince McMahon. And they could have a lumberjack match, and it would be 5 to 10 UFC fighters on the outside, and 5 to 10 WWE wrestlers on the other side, and then it just turns into a big brawl, and whoever wins wins. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I would love that, man. They could even play up the invasion angle, which that never gets old. I always like a good old-fashioned invasion and an injection of poison. I'm going to kill my product.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. That'd be fun. That'd be fun, especially since. So did you hear McGregor signed his portion of the deal? Supposed to be worth reportedly $75 million. They're just waiting on Mayweather to sign his.
Yo, Goose is gonna go down. I told you, son, this was going to go down. Yo, what's the split again?
So the reports now are saying McGregor will get $75 million, Mayweather will get $100 million, and then both fighters will negotiate, whatever percentage cut of the pay-per-view buys they get. And then there's little things that they have to negotiate. So the little things are like Mayweather likes to negotiate ring size, glove size, and stuff like that. But apparently, once money is signed, then getting the glove size, ring size, all the like little finite details, that's the easy part. Drug testing. So Mayweather's really big on drug testing, which Conor McGregor's, he'll be fine. This will be the largest. So McGregor has gone on record as saying in 2016 up to 17, with his 2 fights with Diaz and the Alvarez fight, he made $40 million. That might be fluff. He might just be saying that as a part of the hype train, But I mean, for him to not, only make a few million per fight in the UFC and then go to making $70 million, it's a win-win. So okay, let me ask you. If that fight happens, it'll be a boxing card. How would you fantasy book that card, knowing that you have a roster of UFC fighters and a roster of boxers? In my mind, you could have a co-branded card, which means the main event is, and the issue with boxing is the undercard sucks. I don't care who's listening or what you think. Boxing sucks. The undercard's god awful. UFC, normally you have a pretty good undercard. So what if they did a co-branded boxing versus UFC card? Or maybe you do a card where you have some UFC fights, some boxing fights, and then the main event is McGregor versus Mayweather. Maybe you have a UFC ring next to a boxing ring in the same event center, or maybe because realistically the live attendance you care about, it's going to sell out, maybe, but what you do is have, a show, the main event at the MGM Grand, and then some other fights at the T-Mobile Arena or something like that. So how would you fantasy book that?
So basically an MMA versus a boxer?
Yeah, I mean, you could. How would you fantasy book that night? Would you have UFC fights? Because UFC undercards are good, boxings are bad.
Yep.
So would you say, you know what? Let's go to another stadium? Because when it comes to pay-per-view buys are just a live feed. So you could have 10 different arenas showing whatever you want, and that's all on one pay-per-view. So would you have some UFC fights on the undercard, and then the main event is McGregor Mayweather? Would you have some boxing on the undercard? What would you do? Fantasy book that night.
Yes. So if I was to do it, I would probably be heavier on the MMA fighters than I would be on the boxing fighters. So maybe start out with a boxing match, like a really, really good boxing match, like a Vander Holyfield.
Yeah. You know, I think that you could go several ways with this one. I think that you could go, like, if you were going to truly, truly, truly fantasy book this thing, I think that you can go several ways, meaning throw in some boxing. You know what I would like to see a good boxing match, and they could hype it up like two up and comers that weigh whatever weight class that you know you're going to see a fight in a slugfest. So I mean, you could showcase boxing. They should make the event showcase boxing and UFC that leads into the McGregor Mayweather main event. So you could have, like, Anderson Silva has actually said he wants to box Roy Jones. So it'd be two guys that are older that were the greatest in their prime.
Yeah, y'all ninjas must have forgot.
Yeah, no kidding. So I mean, maybe you could do that and then throw like a Donald Cerrone always has good fights. I think he's fighting already in July, but maybe like a Donald Cerrone or Frankie Edgar, one of those guys who were entertaining. Basically, I would say that that whole card should showcase. I think it should really showcase what's out there for boxing. I think if you throw some up and coming, be good in 2, 3, 4 years. I think that really, really, really get some future entertainment out of boxing, especially since the undercard's big. And I think that you can get a solid undercard for, like, I don't think Lyoto Machida's retired. You could throw him out there. Chris Weidman's available for a fight. I mean, you have a lot of these guys that are available for a fight. I just don't know. I don't think it should be a gimmick card. If you would have asked me 12 hours ago, make this stuff a gimmick card as soon as you can. Make this a gimmick card and make it a strict card. UFC versus boxing. And let's just go that route. But so who would you have in the fight, McGregor or Mayweather?
Oh man, I would probably go with the safe bet is definitely to go with Mayweather, but I'm going for McGregor, man.
No, I think it's Mayweather all day. Well, I'm sure once the fight comes close, we'll do our predictions and all that. So speaking of
real quick. So would you think that this matchup is going to be better or worse than the CM Punk Mickey Gall fight? Like not the hype and the lead up or anything, but the actual match itself.
Man, that's I don't know. That's a really good question. I think so I watched boxing this weekend. Canelo Alvarez beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. 12 rounds to 0. And in boxing, when you lose 12 to 0, that's bad. Mayweather doesn't even win his fights 12 to 0. And I thought, you know what? Maybe dominations are possible when you just fight somebody better. But it very well could be if I was going to say the Mickey Gall CM Punk fight was the equivalent of 10 rounds to 2 in boxing, which is a domination. Geez, I don't know, man. I think it could happen. That's a great question.
Oh, I have my moments every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. So we're talking about predictions of the future. We're talking about Mayweather. We're talking about McGregor. We're talking about UFC. But what we're not talking about is there's a pay-per-view coming up this weekend.
That's right.
I don't know the name of the pay-per-view. By the way, I could tell you right now, your connection's pretty good right now. Look at that. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm breaking kayfabe here. I'm talking connection issues when. What? I can't hear you. Connection's bad. What's up? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So no, we're talking. Predictions. I don't know the name of this pay-per-view coming up. I didn't even know there was one until you told me a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago too.
Payback or Backlash?
It's Backlash. I will say though, my favorite thing about this pay-per-view here has been the promo stills, like the pictures that they show when they introduce the matches. Yo, Gender with Blue Eyes looks like evil incarnate, man. That's insane. Alone makes me like pumped to want to see the match itself. So kudos to the graphics department at WWE for they've been on point with the promos, man.
Yeah, they're good. The Nakamura promo for this thing has looked awesome. How it has like the glow thing following his awesome feet.
Absolutely loved it. So, what I was thinking, we could do a little
switch it up a little bit.
Predictions when we get into it.
We could do. How do you do? I'm all ears. Tell me what you're looking for.
Okay.
What you want to do.
I'll be the first to admit that the card itself is less than stellar. I would probably rate it as maybe a C kind of card. So I was thinking is that after we give our predictions of what that particular match is, let's fantasy book how we would want to redo that match. Maybe one person out of that match was someone from the Attitude Era. So, for instance, Ty Dillinger and Aiden English is on the kickoff match, which we're not going to score at all. We can safely say that we have Ty Dillinger for the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with that being said, had this been the Attitude Era, paired Ty Dillinger with for this card?
Are you asking me because we don't care about this match, or are we going to do this for every match?
We're going to do this for every match. Matches that we feel like there could have been a better matchup in the Attitude Era. How's that?
You know, I'll say we could do all of them. No, we could do it for all of them. We'll keep it quick. I like that idea. We'll keep it quick. We'll do it for all of them, but we'll just pick one person in the match. So Ty Dillinger versus
just one person in the match.
Yeah. So we both agree Ty Dillinger is going to win, and I'm going to post out the our bets here on who's going to win. This is going to sound silly, but I'd actually say my boy X-Pac would be a good matchup only because him and Ty Dillinger's not a big guy, but X-Pac was good enough in the ring. He was good enough on promos, and we'll just assume Ty Dillinger was going to go over on X-Pac. X-Pac would be able to make Ty Dillinger look like $1 million on the mic. Like he would be able to really generate some heat against himself. So when Ty Dillinger gets the win, it looks like it means something. So I'd say X-Pac.
That's a good pick, man. Yeah, Ty Dillinger is gonna win this one for sure. If I was to this match with someone against someone in the Attitude Era, I would have probably against. I would love to see him against Edge. To be honest with you, I think they have two great contrasting styles. Ty is more of a technical wrestler, whereas Edge is more of like that and pound kind of thing, and sometimes comes off of the rope a little rough. So versus Edge, let's book it.
Okay, I could see that. Why not Christian? Like Christian would be a good subtle. Well, I guess Christian just at the end of the day wasn't as good as Edge. No, he's a freaking Hall of Famer. He was good and all, but that, yeah, I probably still stick with Edge. So is that the only kickoff match we have? I literally know nothing about this card.
Kickoff match that's there. Although I think that the next matchup, the Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan, should probably be on the kickoff show.
Wait.
Correctly, son. You know the best part about this? This was going to be on the show at all.
Wait, so they weren't on SmackDown the past 2 weeks?
No, they were last week, but this week I didn't see them on Hulu. I don't even know if they even have a storyline together other than hey, they broke away from the Wyatt family and for some ungodly reason.
So why are these guys? They kind of just feuded like 3 months ago. So why are why? How are they having a pay-per-view match? I thought Eric Rowan was injured.
Nope.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind it. I think Luke Harper. Let's both agree. Luke Harper's going to win, right?
Nope.
No. Is Eric Rowan getting some like big comeback push or something?
Getting a push, man. He beat Luke Harper, man.
Wait. What?
You heard me correctly. I'm no fluff. He beat Luke. We were all in shock. Like, I don't know what the hell.
What on SmackDown? When on SmackDown?
Last week on SmackDown, they had a one-on-one match, and he beat Luke Harper.
I'm gonna pick Luke Harper, and you're picking Eric Rowan.
I'm picking Eric Rowan. It seems like they're trying to push him. Maybe they're saving Luke Harper for the Money in the Bank. What I can come to right now is that he's gonna be a serious contender for the Money in the Bank. So
when is that? Is that coming up? Is that something real?
Next pay-per-view for SmackDown. This is something like this is a trend, man. When they push someone that's hot and then all of a sudden they stop being hot just out of the blue, it's all cold turkey. That person's usually the one who wins the Money in the Bank match. They did it to Wade Barrett. They did it to Sheamus.
Dolph.
They did it to Ziggler. They did it to the Intellectual Savior.
Wow.
This is a trend. If you're not John Cena, you do the job, you put people over, you get Money in the Bank.
Jeez. All right. Whatever. Attitude Era wise, I don't care about this match. Eric Rowan versus Minion. You remember Minion from
yeah,
Corporate Ministry? Yeah, because this is about how much I care about this match. Luke Harper can go in the ring. I wish I could have seen something from Eric Rowan. I just never did. I guess if you have the Wyatt Four, right? Harper, Rowan, Strowman, and Bray. I guess somebody's got to be the worst of the group. No offense to Rowan, I mean, but maybe I just haven't seen enough of him. So, but we'll see. Who would you have in the Attitude Era booked?
Ah, man, it's like you said, man. Luke Harper can go. I would love to see like Luke Harper go against, and the crazy thing about it is he can go against like small people. I think that if Luke Harper had the chance to go against Shawn Michaels, man, that would have been amazing.
Okay, I could see that.
I know on paper it sounds crazy, but one of Luke Harper's best matches was against.
It was against who?
Just
Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
Yeah. They were throwing super kicks left and right. That's right.
So I think that if he went against Shawn Michaels, man, that would have been something special to watch. I would have definitely marked the hell out for that.
So what's the next match on this thing?
So we got Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. about this match, but more importantly, I don't even know why these guys are really fighting.
Because it's a SmackDown pay-per-view. The winner will probably get a U.S. title shot. So on that note, I'll go Sami Zayn. Why not?
So, Baron Corbin, he's fallen in that same camp for a potential Money in the Bank. So, Corbin's going to do the job here, and I do think Sami Zayn is going to actually ink a win here. They need to start resurrecting Sami Zayn. He's taken too many L's. He's put too many people over.
He's in the Ambrose factor.
Definitely. So I think Sami Zayn's going to come out with the win on this one.
And same question, the Attitude Era wise. If I could see anybody in this match fight somebody from the Attitude Era, I'm going to switch it up, and I'd say I'd go Baron Corbin versus Scott Hall.
Damn, I was going to say the same thing, Goose.
Because they're both kind of big guys. I think that they would have put on a good match.
That the Razor can put him up in the edge?
Wait a minute. I'm looking at the chat, and we got our boy Ringo Flake in the building. For those of y'all who don't know who Ringo Flake is, he is our official. He's a correspondent of ours, and he's left many a voicemail. And our boy Ringo Flake is obsessed with Bo Dallas. So thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate it. Ringo Flake, ladies and gentlemen.
Ringo, call that line 419-777-IRWP. Give us an update on that Bo Dallas. We need to know where he's at, son.
419-777-IRWP. Leave us a voicemail if you call us now. Leave us a voicemail on where Bo Dallas is at, and we'll play it right now. The original Ringo Flake. Bo leaves. So, what's after that? Is that the women's match?
Yeah, so it's the welcoming committee, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella versus Charlotte Flair, Naomi, and Becky Lynch.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something here. I got an idea. Listen to this. I hope you hear this. You hear that?
I hear it.
We're about to put somebody on the spot.
Just make sure you tell them they're live. We don't want to get sued.
Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing?
Nothing. I was just talking to a friend.
You're what?
A coworker. I was talking to a colleague.
Oh, cool. Hey, guess what, man? I got a question, dude. I really need your help, man. Thanks for, I'm glad I have your phone number. Charlotte Flair, Naomi, and Becky Lynch are fighting this weekend versus Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella. We're live on the podcast, by the way. So you are somebody who is an advocate of Charlotte Flair. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of y'all listening in, I just happened to get the phone number of Stephen Thatch, one of our loyal listeners. And he comments in the chat every single week. And I said, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And he was like, nah, man, I got some stuff going on. So I said, all right, well, if you're going to say no, then I'm just going to call you while I'm live. So tell me who's going to win.
Let's do this. I mean, if y'all are going to talk about the queen of SmackDown, I'm going to answer. I'm going to speak for the queen right now. What's your question?
So who's winning this match? The welcoming committee or Charlotte, Naomi, and Becky Lynch? And are we going to get a heel turn?
You know Charlotte's got to win this match. The welcoming committee has been picking on the queen ever since she came. There's a reason why they drafted the queen to SmackDown. Guaranteed she's going to make a name for herself. And by the way, who the hell is this welcoming committee? There's just a bunch of women that they threw together. And you know what? I've been listening to you, and you're like, what are they doing to my show? What are they doing to SmackDown? I'm asking the same question. The women's division on SmackDown, What the hell are they doing? You're just throwing women together because of the queen. And the queen is going to make a name for herself this goddamn weekend on Sunday night.
Words.
I don't even know the name of the damn pay-per-view. What is it? Backlash?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of backlash.
Words of wisdom from Stephen Dash. Thanks, man. Appreciate you answering.
All right.
Later. And
oh
there you have
boy,
it. On blast.
Even that.
Yo, we put you on blast on this podcast. You better hope I don't get your phone number, because I will call you while we do this thing live. I will call you in a heartbeat.
Oh man. So,
dude, yeah.
Who do you got on this one, man?
I got the welcoming committee winning by. There'll be some shenanigans. Maybe Becky will turn heel or something. The welcoming committee because of a heel turn.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way, man, for the same exact reason. It's time to turn Becky. I absolutely love a heel Becky. So it'll liven up things. Charlotte within arm's reach of the belt, but at the same time still extending Naomi's run.
Oh yeah. Well, what if Becky Lynch turns heel? So it's basically the women's roster versus Charlotte and Naomi, and Asuka loses the title this weekend and gets called up. So she's kind of the saving face.
God,
that's certainly a possibility, but who knows?
I kind of want to see a heel. I want to see a heel Asuka, man. I need my Kana to be heel. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's still too soon. I think you're going to extend Asuka until about SummerSlam. I think that's when she'll be called up. I think that's the next batch.
So what's the next match on this thing? The Usos and Breezango?
Yes.
Wait, who did you pick in the last match? You said the same thing, the welcoming committee, right?
Yeah, it's welcoming committee by way of Becky Lynch.
What about the Usos and Breezango?
So the Usos versus Breezango, this is see it both ways, to be honest with you. I really want Breezango to win. Even if they don't get the titles and they're getting disqualified, I would so love for them to win. Those two guys much, and this would be to have a quick feud between them and the Usos until the New Day gets there. I think New Day is going to be a good point. Tag team coming in. I think that the promos have been like overly face, which makes me believe that it's going to be like,
I don't know. They sell a lot of merch.
Yeah,
they sell a lot of merch.
They do, but people are still going to love them whether or not they're heel or they're face. So I think putting them against Breezango would be pretty. So I got Breezango for the win.
Okay, well, I'm going with the Usos here just because I think it's going to be for the Usos to gain more heat. This is just an easy win for the Usos to gain more heat. If I was going to have the Usos fight anybody in the Attitude Era, probably go with the APA. Just those dudes are sluggish. Those dudes fight raw, fight hard, and the Usos would have to kind of outdo them and out-trick them. What about you?
Oh, I would probably go with Breezango, and I would put them up against. I'll put them up against Vicious and Delicious.
Who's Delicious?
You don't know? Do you know who Vicious is?
It was Sid Vicious, right? And
Nah, man. Vicious and Delicious were the exclusive property of the NWO, manned by one
Buff
Marcus
Bagwell.
Yep. And
Scott Norton. That's right. You're right. Good call. That's a good reference. Nice throwback. Nakamura and Dolph. Can we just skip this match? Because we both know Nakamura is not losing. Like that one's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could skip.
Yeah, we can skip that one, man.
But if I was to just really quickly pick anybody, it'd be Nakamura versus Chris Benoit, because that shit would be intense.
Shinsuke versus Chris Benoit?
Yes, because it would be super intense.
Yeah, that's a good call, man. Shit, honestly, I think I would want to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus.
You can go Bill Goldberg.
No, because Bill Goldberg can't stand like 5 minutes. I don't want to see like a squash match, man. I want to see him go against a tactician, like either a Bret Hart or a Dean Malenko.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking, Dean Malenko. Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. And for the record, whatever your answer is, my Attitude Era is just going to be AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels.
That's the one that we all want to see is AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels. I think that's the dream match everybody wants to see. And just sad that we had a chance of it happening this year, but
yeah,
you know, I respect Shawn's decision not to wrestle anymore and commend him for it, but it still would have been nice to see.
By the way, Ringo Flake, Dolph will probably get injured in the match. There's a really good chance he's going to get injured in the match. Because Nakamura's going to kick his head.
Dolph will be. So have a little bit of a shine.
I've got AJ Styles winning this one. I think he'll take the title over, and maybe they'll feud over the summer. What about you?
Yeah, I think I have a as well. I think that no, AJ's putting people over, man. Like he's continuously putting people over. I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens against my better judgment. I'm gonna go against So.
Okay, and in the main event, Hard Body Mahal, the most ripped man on the planet, versus Randy Orton for the title. I definitely have Randy Orton winning this one, 100%.
I've got Jinder Mahal winning this one.
Oh, and that is the one that's going to make you lose the bet.
Look, it's the ultimate screw job itself. So that's one.
Yeah.
Who's Randy going to with after Jinder Mahal?
Rusev said on that a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to come back until I get a title shot.
Yeah, but do you really want to see Randy Orton versus Rusev?
Do I really want to see Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal? You just said so earlier. Rusev better in the
ring. Rusev, Jinder Mahal, they still got a score to settle. That was in the last pay-per-view. None of them, it was garbage, it was trash. It was a sully to his name. Now that Rusev's shackles have been released, with Lana being on the opposite side of the world, Rusev can come in, take care of business. We might have a three-way dance between Randy Orton, Rusev, and my man, the new WWE champion, the Olive Mastral or whatever he calls himself.
Maharaja.
Yeah, the Mother Russia. My boy, Jinder Mahal, baby. Mahal.
I think I would love to see Jinder win, but if I don't see him putting the title on somebody who lost to Finn Balor in 2 minutes, a month and a half ago, I just don't see him giving him the title. I wish they would. It would. And good call, Ringo Flake. I have the Singh brothers winning best dressed. So I would love to see, especially me, I'm part Indian, so I would love to see my boy Jinder Mahal win. Matter of fact, I want you to call me the Maharaja from now on. Just call me Goose. I'm going to change my name. Goose and the Maharaja.
I love that. I mark out every single time he says that, man.
I'm going to come in like that, just like that to work. And yeah.
The Maharaja.
Especially when you see me walking around, you look and you're like, man, the Indian dude's got something going on. But he might be half black. That's the mystery. You never know. Might be half black, half Indian. Might be half white, half black. You
Which
never know.
one you gonna get? Which one you gonna get?
Yeah, it depends on the mood and what kind of mood I'm in. But I hope Jinder wins. It'd be a nice switch. I'd be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen. So if I was going to have anybody fight, it'd be Randy Orton versus DDP. That's my pick. My Attitude Era.
Cutters.
Yep. Whoever hits the diamond cutter first wins out of nowhere.
Oh man. God, that's kind of hard because wasn't Randy in the Attitude Era?
Not really. He wasn't in his prime in the Attitude Era.
On the end of it.
He was the far end of it. Because the Attitude Era was like really like 97 through 2002, 2003, like a 5-year period there. It wasn't much after that. No, Randy wasn't in it though.
Yeah, I probably would stick. God, that was a good one, dude. DDP versus Randy Orton
versus Ringo Flake versus Bo Dallas. That's what I want to know. Where's this Bo Dallas at?
I have no clue, man. But wouldn't it be crazy that he wins the Money in the Bank? I mean, I don't even know what brand he's on, but wouldn't it be great if he won the Money in the Bank?
It'd almost be great. Well, all right. I don't have much left other than I asked you my questions. My big thing this week was just to get caught up in 2 weeks of wrestling, see what your thoughts are on MMA wrestlers or MMA fighters coming into wrestling. I don't have anything else for you.
2 quick things.
Thoughts?
2 big cards that we don't have to recap everything, but just the 2 big cards. Asuka versus whoever she's fighting, and Bobby Roode versus
Hideo Itami. Yeah.
Hideo Itami.
I have Asuka and Bobby Roode winning both.
I have Asuka losing and Bobby Roode winning. Nope. I got Hideo Itami winning, actually. The problem is that he can never stay healthy, though.
Well, he hurt his neck because somebody botched a power slam on him.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't been healthy at all. But they're in Chicago, and his finish is to go to sleep, so I'm sure he'll hit that at some point.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got Hideo Itami winning, man. It's gonna be the greatest pop ever, man. He hits that GTS.
Yeah. I overall got both of them winning.
Sweet.
And
all right, so we want to hit out the shout outs and then.
Yeah, so shout outs to Stephen Thatch on my end, Ringo Flake, the Bo Lever, the ultimate Bo Lever. Shout outs to everybody listening. Shout outs to the people who tune in on YouTube. I know most of our followers and subscribers and listeners come from the audio version of the podcast. Shout out to Sage DeMark for holding it down last week, doing the best he can. It was a very, very, without boring you guys, very technical difficulties, crap week last week. But we do the best with what we could do, so we could do it for y'all. So, and shout outs to all the mothers. Happy belated Mother's Day. Hopefully y'all got some delicious, some great D on Mother's Day. And by that I mean dessert, because cupcakes are delicious. Who you giving shout outs to?
Yeah, so first and foremost, happy belated Mother's Day. I apologize that I didn't make mention. Birthday was just terrible, so that's on me. We still got you. With that being said, I want to give a shout out to definitely the audio listeners. We are over 800 downloads to our podcast.
Jeez.
And we're not even at a year yet. Saying
we got to hit that 1,000 mark.
I think that's huge. And it's shout out to our buddies at online. on Twitter, hitting us up at that Twitter, getting that follow and that share and that subscribing. So I'm gonna go through the list real quick. Let's see. We're gonna start out with Dustin White. Dustin White, we appreciate you, boo. Boo, what the hell? We appreciate you, bruh. We got Delusion at New York Badass. We got Real Life Muay Thai at Real Life MT. We got a new follower called Do Love, who looks just like Do Love. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, definitely. I got a couple of marks. Diva Bible, always appreciate you. Got the Bomb Squad. Thank you so much. Got Joe Cronin giving us some love on Twitter. Appreciate you. Got the New Era podcast on one Onsalt. I probably slaughtered that. The one Onsalt. Hopefully that's not like some type of pseudonym or metaphor or something like that. Like, what was the last one that I got wrong? Some.
Yeah, you've got some weird ones wrong, but they sound funny when you say them.
Terrible. We got Heel Tim. Thank you, Heel Tim, for following us. Welcome to the movement. Klein, appreciate you you coming with the can't remember what it was that we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about AJ Styles. Apparently there's I gotta show you, dude. They got these chairs that they actually customize, and this company actually customized one of AJ Styles chairs, and we were having a conversation about that. So that was pretty cool. Erica, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Alex J, Blade Double X. Thank you so much for following us as well as liking. Eric Butler, Sage the Mark, you're always on point, son. Thank you so much. And Timeless Legacy, thank you so much for following us, guys. Welcome to the movement. I'm your boy, Sage the Mark. That's your boy, Ben Goosen. Ben, where can they find you at?
Ben_Goosen on Twitter and Twitch. Womp womp.
Sweet. And what's that email address that they can hit you up at?
Well, that's a good question. It's IRWPfeedback@gmail.com. Again, that's IRWPfeedback@gmail.com. And if you're in the mood, I don't know, just the casual mood to call us, we will answer. If not, drop us a voicemail. And if you want us to call you back, we'll call you back too. Give us a call at 419-777-IRWP. That's 419, kind of like 619, like Rey Mysterio, but it's Cleveland. 419-777-IRWP. Shucky ducky quack quack. Holla back.
I'm your boy, Sage the Mark. You can find me at Sage the Mark on Twitter. .us is our website. It's got all of our credentials, just not our passwords.
Yeah.
Cast on Twitter. Y'all hit us up there. Thank you so much, guys, for all the love, support. Things are going crazy right now in the world. Love one another. Respect one another. Oh, y'all just keep it real.
Keep it real, gangsters. Out.
Hogan!